Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to Cocktails and Conversations podcast with me, Deborah Babio. I'm a cultural connector, curator, and all-round formidable force within the fashion, entertainment, and lifestyle space. This podcast blends good vibes, meaningful conversations, and a splash of inspiration. Every week, we're serving up candid chats on wellness, lifestyle, and personal growth, all with a refreshing twist. So grab your favorite cocktail or mocktail and join me along with some industry pros and close friends as we delve into the roller coaster of modern life. Cheers! In this week's episode of Cocktails and Conversations, I sit down with two dynamic women to have an honest conversation around modern dating. My guests this week are Toni Blaze, the incredible editor-in-chief and celebrity stylist, and Zeze Mills, the fearless cultural commentator and host. Join me for a raw, unfiltered discussion on navigating love, relationships, situationships, and singlehood in today's world. Together, we unpack the realities of dating in an era of endless choices, navigating gender roles, and blurred lines between independence and intimacy. This isn't about swiping left or right. It's about redefining what it means to be single, prioritizing self-worth, and embracing relationships that align with your values. Whether you're happily single, navigating situationships, or in the quest to find something more, this conversation will challenge you to think about new ways of navigating modern romance. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it. Love, dating, and everything in between. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Cocktails and Conversations. Today, we've got a fabulous episode. I'm super excited. We've got two incredible ladies in the studio here with me. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. How
are you doing?
Who are you, girl?
I'm Zeze Mills. And
Yes.
I guess, do I have to say what I do?
Yes, please do. Introduce
I'm
yourself.
a presenter.
Yes.
Apparently. And no, I always say this because how I started off was just talking and giving my opinions. I always find it quite interesting.
Which we love.
Also, yeah, how people refer to me. Sometimes presenter, sometimes content creator, sometimes
fabulous.
That talks shit, always blabbing. That's me.
No, you're talking
above.
the tea. You're talking the real,
Thank
not
you,
shit.
Debs.
I don't
Thank
think it's
you.
shit. I
Thanks,
think it's
Debs.
sometimes you're saying the things that people want to say but are afraid to say.
Well, that's what I've got in my Insta bio. So
It really is. It is. It's true.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, Toni.
Hi. No, I'm joking. I'm Toni Blaze. People call me Blaze or T Blaze or Toni or just Toni. I'm an editor-in-chief of a magazine, a creative director, stylist, a fashion doll.
And all around fabulous.
And
These
all of
girls
that.
have been too humble. They're fabulous. I love them to bits. And today we're talking all things, singleness, living single in this day and age. I feel like
Sorry.
Even saying living single just sounds so like.
But it is. I feel like it's
not living single.
It's living single because we are all doing amazing things without partners. Like I don't want to say in the old days, but the tradition is you in your 20s, you find a partner, maybe get married 25, get into 30, you've got the kids. I mean, for me, I'm in my 40s, hitting 41, and I'm not doing all that stuff. I've got a great career, great company. I've done amazing things, but without a partner. And I feel like it's becoming the norm within, especially the Black community. Definitely, females. I know a lot of my friendship groups are doing amazing, amazing things. But that trying to couple up is a little bit tricky. Why do you think that is?
You're probably better off just not being as career driven, in my opinion.
You think?
Yeah, I think you probably get further romantically if you were more. If you just had like a normal quote unquote 9 to 5, whatever that means. Like, I don't think especially when you're successful or it appears that you're successful.
Yeah.
I think that can deter, especially the men that you probably or we find attractive, or the people we find attractive. I don't think the men that we come across in the spaces that we are, I genuinely feel that they probably look at women like us and are like, no.
Just no.
Absolutely not.
Just straight.
Like,
just no.
I agree though.
Really? Go on, tell me.
But I think it's also the way you're brought up, because I think as a Black woman, you were like, in our generation, we were brought up to be very like, You need to be the best in class. You need to like hustle for your career. You need to do all these things. So what happens is that you kind of almost, I mean, I spent like 10 years hustling, you know, and then it's like you get to the end like, oh, I've got an accolade. Now it's like, oh, wait, love. Whereas I feel like the generation now is like you're being taught to understand you need to prioritize love at the same time as career. Like, you know, like if you have like had a strict household, African mom, like, are you bringing boys to do what? You said you had a boyfriend.
Don't
you
they love
even
it? Don't they? Oh, before we even get out, there's so much tea on that.
What I'm saying.
When we talk about immigrants.
Like even like, just I think it's just black parents in general. Or then you get to, they tell you all your life, no boyfriend. And then you get to 24 and they're like, where's your man? And you're like,
my God.
But just 2 years ago, you were telling me don't get pregnant.
Literally.
And now you're telling me, why am I not pregnant? Like, which one is it?
Listen,
please?
my grandma called me like 2 months ago and she's like, oh, she's been about 82 for about 4 years, but bless her, she's an icon. She called me, she was like, oh, you know, I'm ready to dance. As in, like, she's ready to dance at my wedding. And I'm like, number one, there's like 25 cousins. I'm not the only one that's single. Number two, I'm also like, yeah, like you said, all those years when you said no boyfriend, I was, you know, in demure. Now everyone's looking saying, oh, where all these places that you go.
Mate, on that note, let me pour you ladies a drink.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Casa. How can I not serve you this fabulous cocktail? I do love
When
a
did you start getting into cocktails?
I've always loved a cocktail.
Really?
To be honest, I'm that kind of girl who just likes to mix things up. So
I love that.
You know?
Oh, Deb's always like on her Insta stuff.
Always.
They were like, yes,
we see you on a Friday night, girl.
I know.
She said,
afternoon, she's like,
right.
guys, just making a cocktail with her like nice bar behind her.
You know,
just like we love that.
Look how she pours it so demurely.
I know.
So demure. Get you a girl like that.
I know. Thank you.
Get you a girl like that.
I'll pass it down the line. Here you go, doll.
Yeah.
Not you having us drinking at 12 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. So cheers ladies. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. Tell me what you think.
Refreshing.
Oh, it's very refreshing.
You see?
It's like got a nice bit of bitterness to it, but also sweetness. I don't like cocktails that are too sweet.
Right?
Am I a child?
No. Oh, I love this.
I'm a child. I love sweet stuff.
I bar, you know. I might just like, you know, that could be my next venture. A little cocktail bar. Anyway, we were talking about our parents growing up in the black community, obviously telling us, don't bring boys, don't do this. And all of a sudden, so when am I buying my hat?
Right.
So is there anyone you want to introduce us to? It's like, how do we get here? How do we jump from literally, okay, we're all focused on our careers, trying to make our parents proud, trying to make our family proud, to now like, oh, we single.
Yeah.
We're single with all these accolades, like you're saying. How do we navigate that? How do you think we should be going forward? Because dating apps, do you think that's a way? Do you think the dating apps are?
I think dating apps are good. I've tried to do dating apps, but I think because of my profile, then whenever in the past when I've like unmatched someone, they'll come and find me on Insta.
Oh God!
So they'll be like, "Why did you unmatch me for?" And I'm like, "Babe, this
Lord,
is absolutely
that's
ridiculous."
very
like,
true. Actually,
I was, you know, and then I tried Raya, and I even tried the premium one that was £45 a month. Can't believe I actually tried, but I thought, you know what? Maybe it will whittle out the
craziness.
Right. Even though Raya, again, is still such a loophole. You have to jump through bloody loopholes to get on that app.
Really?
Yeah, they got.
I've never
you got to be referred. Everything.
You got to be referred, and then you have to give them your Insta. Then they check your Insta.
Wow, investigation.
Yeah, and then
investigation just to get a date.
Yeah. So I thought, you know, I tried the premium one because you know, like the premium guys are going to be on the premium one. Yeah. It was hard. Well, it's just not my type of guy on there.
But do you think the guys that I mean, I don't know what your types are, but the types of guys that hopefully are of our level, our caliber, also doing things, are they sitting on dating apps? Are they on dating apps?
No, I don't think they are.
But then where are they?
No,
we need to meet them in real life, girls. That is what we need to do.
But we're living in real life and we haven't met them. So what are we doing?
Being positive 2025, IRL, right. They're not.
I think some of them are. I
Really?
think I think a lot of them.
I've heard good successful stories from dating apps. I've heard people getting married from some of these dating apps.
I think also men are they don't actually know how to approach women anymore. So I think they find dating apps the safest way almost. that way you can't get publicly rejected. Like you go up to a woman, she's not going to embarrass you in front of everyone by telling you. So then they can think about things as well. So like when you meet people in real life, obviously you get to actually see how quick they are at responding. The actual dating apps, you can wait 2 hours before you reply. You can think of a response.
I'm very bad.
I
literally, when I was on there, I was very much like, I'll reply in my head, and then 2 weeks later, oh gosh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I don't like dating apps. I just find
I'm not a dating app.
I'm not a dating app.
I feel like it's like another chore to do in terms of like I'm already looking at a screen from like how many hours a day like doing emails, and then I'm in my like downtime.
But
I'm now doing screen time.
On the other hand, when you're looking for a job or you want something, you put effort in. You apply for a job. You're on LinkedIn. You're on the
like be on it.
And so I feel like maybe are we applying ourselves? Are we applying in the way that we should be? If we wanted something, like if I wanted something, like where do I find this? I'm on there really focused. Whereas maybe we're looking at it as, it will come.
Yeah.
And then
no, dating apps is not for me, like at all. No. I tried
Tony's
Hinge.
like, I said no.
No, I tried Hinge one time, and I remember my friend went through my profile and she's like, your pictures are not candid enough. And I'm not a candid babe. So like, like when they want you to look at the girl next door and stuff, like, babe, I'm not next door. I'm like in the mansion across the street. Babe.
Amen.
Number
Tell
one.
them.
Number two, I remember one time some guy messaged me and was like, oh, I would love to send you my lookbook. I was like, that's nuts. So I was like, this is not for me. But you know what I think is, sorry to cut you, I think it's region. I think where you are in your life in terms of the area is very, very important. You know how they talk about like, like these Americans will be like, oh, you're a 10 in Miami, but you're like a 5 in Houston in terms of like how appealing you are within your market. I think it's like quick to put all this emphasis on like what we should be doing, but you also have to look at the context of where you are. Do you know what I mean? Right. And go where you're loved. Yeah. In terms of like, how people talk about like, I always say this thing, like, if I go to Houston or Atlanta, well, maybe not Atlanta, because, the L's be down there, babe. But if you go to, like, a Houston or something like that, get myself a little African doctor or something. Hey. But, I mean, as in, like, you just have to think about where you can regionally go. I feel that's what it is. I feel like this conversation feels like, oh, what are we doing? But it's like, are we in the right place for love?
That's very true.
I think you have to think about that too.
But we're all international babes. We've traveled. I've been in business lounges, business class. Like I've been shining my eyes, but
so business lounges.
What about you? You're in first class. You're in first class, girl. What about this? You're in first class. Miss Editor in Chief, should I say? But yeah. They say that I've been to conferences, I've been to tech conferences, I've been to other spaces where it's not usually my creative crowd because, there is not, the people are not checking for me that way. But it's still the case of, is it the fact that we're intimidating them? Is it the fact that I'm just trying to navigate how to really enter these spaces without obviously being my authentic self, but at the same time, I also know, especially some of my male friends, oh, but Debs, but you're Debs. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm Debs. I'm just a person. I'm looking for love. I want to meet someone. But it's like I think there's a perception with us that maybe we're not out of their league, but like we're just
high maintenance.
I don't want to say that word because I really don't like that, because I don't think we're high maintenance. I don't think people who know what they want are high maintenance. You know what you want, you know what you don't want. And it's... People want to label us as high maintenance, but I don't feel like it should be. I
think it's kind of what I was saying at the beginning, is that whether like men want to admit it or not, they like the idea of exposing you to new things in life because it makes them feel like they've brushed you on life. Like they want to have that.
But I want my man to do that too. Like I want to be able to.
A lot of people don't. They would say you wouldn't appear like that. You don't appear like you can be brought on to anything new. So if you're traveling the world, you're in spaces already, you're eating at this place, you're traveling business class, you're going to nice hotels, you're going on this holiday. Some men will look at that and be like, what can I teach her, or what can I give her to make me feel like because there's like the 3 Ps, like the provider, the protector. So some men might look at us and be like, what can I provide for her? There's nothing I could provide for her, even though there is. But I feel like
men, we're telling you there is.
But even like my friend, he said that to me one time, or friend or / guy that was interested. But he said one time, like, sometimes I look at your gram and I'll think, like, what can I what could I get her, or what can I give her that she can't get herself already?
But that's perception. That's Instagram. That's
why they're
Reality,
not approaching.
though. That's the reality
Because
of
you're
life.
saying, what are we doing? What is it? And I'm saying, this is what men.
So
look
now we
at.
don't have to be on socials anymore.
They
Then.
look basically.
we
that's
do,
why I'm
we have
saying
to
you're
put our
better off.
social. We have to.
Well, that's what the
we
guys
have
That's why
to-
men
regardless
don't
of
care.
what is
Like
it,
all the,
200
when
followers.
women come online and they're like, yeah, I've got this degree, they don't care. They actually don't care. Oh, I'm this, I've made it in this. They don't care. They do not care about any accolades you have. In fact, the more accolades you have, the more you're going to be single. Just put it like that. You're better off telling them that you have nothing. Like that you don't, that you're green to this. That's why they go for younger girls, because they're green to it.
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean? You can't excite me because you pulled up in a nice range, or you pulled up in nice Rolls Royce, or it's nice. I'm going to be happy. Like, it's nice that you got it, but it's not going to gas me. It's not going to make me now want to off my pant to you. Do you know what I mean? Or like, now I'm going to just do everything you say. But that's what men want, the men that we like. So that's why sometimes it's either what I've decided, you either have to change the man you like, or you just have to accept that you might be single for the rest of your life.
Oh no.
Oh.
God forbid.
That's like,
God
that
forbid.
is like,
Guys,
that
prayer
is,
circle right
that
now.
is like,
Prayer
that's
circle
what
right
it
now.
is. So you have
Rebuke
to
that.
maybe go
No,
for the
please,
guy
please, God, no.
that is going to
I
be.
agree. They want to be providers. They want
wanna
to
be
feel
providers.
like.
But they
There's
can
not-
be
but
providers.
they-
I feel like they, you know, I hear everything you're saying, but I feel like is it a case of we have to basically show them, like you're saying, if they're going on our Instagrams and seeing that we're all lit and blah, 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 and all the things you're saying, how do we, instead of changing, like you said, changing who we like, or just admitting that you're going to be single for the rest of your life, please God, no. But is it a case of we help them in that perception of, okay, look, this is Instagram. This is not real life. We do want this, or we have to be more vocal in what we want. Is that?
Yeah, but what do you really do? Do you go and put an Insta story up and be like, hi guys, just to let you know I need someone emotional available?
Yeah.
Like, I think we just continue being like bad bitches. Like, I'm sorry, like, why do I need to now like reshape my life because I need to make it
then
more
you might-
palatable
because
for
then
you?
you-
No,
when you,
then you might end up-
we're
this is-
perpetrating what we're
But
saying.
this is the thing, as women, you can say this, but then it's if you don't want to be single, or you change the guy. That's the thing. Like, I think sometimes a lot of women, we live in like this bubble. Like, well, I'm just going to continue being me. You can continue being you, but then you might end up single.
not
So you
necessarily,
have
because
to-
you're talking about and how you socially present yourself. That's what she's speaking about, and I don't think you should be changing how you socially present yourself.
No, but I think you can play the game, and I think
But how
sometimes
do you
women don't play the game.
But how would you play that on socials? How we are packaged right now as three individual
That's what
women.
that's
You
what I'm saying. I
can't.
do
It's
think
not a real thing.
Yeah, so that's why I think that you either change the guy, or or there's a high chance that you're gonna end up single, because that's because the men that you like are not attracted to what we present.
But
But
they
why
are.
would-
They
no,
are. No,
and
I'm
then
gonna say
to
they are
you-
because they
No,
are
but
because they
what-
come, but they just don't stay. There's obviously this guy's checking for you. This guy's
Because
in the
then
DMs.
then they see
not
your
my
lifestyle.
DMs, but you know.
That's what
but,
I mean. They see your lifestyle, and then they still, because they get into your lifestyle, and then they even realize that it's more lit than what it was on socials. That's another thing, because also there's a lot of smoke. A lot of girls
Yeah,
have a lot
absolutely.
of smoke of mirrors, so they can appear lit on socials, and then you go to their yard and it's a different thing.
Yeah.
So then it's like, or you see that they're actually struggling. So then those lit girls that you think, oh, they're lit, they've learnt to also play the game. Like, a lot of girls have learnt to play the game of like being that damsel in distress and whatever. Like, my male friends have categorically told me that I do not present as if I need help. Like, I don't present as, they don't look at me and think I need to help Z. And men want to help. Do you understand what I mean? They want to feel like they're helping you. And one of my friends doing really well. I've known him forever, and I went to his house and I saw his house, and I was like, oh my God, I'm really proud of you. This is years ago. I was like, I'm so proud of you doing so well. And he literally looked at me and said, this is the first time I've ever felt like you're gassed about anything I've ever done.
What?
And I was like, what? I've always told you. Like, he's like, no, you don't. I never feel like I
like
can
you're
show you
showing
anything new. This is the first time I've felt like you've been in my house and you look like you're genuinely impressed with what I'm presenting you. And I was like, oh, okay, is that a problem? He's like, yeah, because normally if I bring a girl around certain things, she's going to be like, oh my God, wow, oh my God, wow, oh my God, wow.
And they
so
feel,
even,
but
it's
that's
not,
an ego.
yeah, but
That
they're
is
ego.
ego. Yeah,
That's
that
men
is
are
definitely-
ego.
They're basically
They're
live
ego.
their
You
life
have to
based on
stroke their ego. That's what they want.
It's a lot of work here.
That's what I'm saying.
But so it doesn't really answer your question, like, what could we be doing though?
That's it. What you have to do.
But that's what Z is
What,
saying, that we have
pretending?
to either we have to change
I've
the
never
type of
seen
guys
this
that we
before.
want, And I hear you because sometimes
that's what you gotta do.
I'm very much like,
That's lies.
That's what you gotta do.
You spread a lies when it comes to your crib. In the walk-in closet,
Right.
babe. No, I'm joking.
no, but
it's-
I hear you because
I hear both sides.
I'm
gotta
very
think.
much like on the cusp of maybe black love might not be for me. You know,
Oh,
I might
God.
have
There we
to
go.
Go to the other side.
I might have to go to the other
Let me tell you
side.
something, yeah? Man is man. That's
See,
it.
I-
Man,
Black, white, blue,
man.
broke, anything. It's the
That
same
is
guy,
it.
babe.
The man is
I don't
man.
know. I
No,
don't know.
I'm telling you, because you can get the only reason why the white guy would be obsessed with you is because, again, it's something that he
Is
can't,
what?
that he's not used to, right? That he's not
But
like.
I'm hoping he this is not his first time.
well,
like
it's
he's
still
coming.
like
hope
based in
not.
the thing of
you
like,
know?
oh, it's something new. I genuinely think
Right.
it's still that. So you still can find that in a black guy. You can find a black guy that is still going to be in awe of you because of what you, and that's what I mean. There's some guys, like when I dated a younger guy, oh my God, he was fucking in awe of me. Like he thought I was the best thing since sliced bread.
But it's
mate.
because he was younger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Also, go for the younger guy. Same reason why the men are going for younger girls. That's why our age group should go for the younger guy. They ain't got no trauma. They're not upset because some girl left them 5 years ago. Like the same reasons why men don't want to be with like what they say about us. Like, oh yeah, the older women. You've been heartbroken. You come into the
Yeah.
relationship with bare baggage, and you're making me pay for Frederick and Simon and who done you wrong 2 years ago, and now you're trying to put me. That's the same with men in our age group. That's why they come in it so like, oh, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. The under not too young, obviously. You don't want to, it's not cradle stature like before we put it out there. But I
disclaimer,
mean the
big disclaimer.
younger.
Oh, God.
28, you're good.
For me, 28 might not be. might not be. I'm
I
in my
mean, like,
40s,
within-
but,
yeah.
like,
So you might
I
wanna
hear
do
you,
like
I
a-
hear you. I like a 30.
Like, yeah,
30,
35
yeah,
maybe.
that'd be for you.
I mean, there's some relations like look at Gab and Dwayne. I think it was it. Is it 10 years or was it
That she's
7
older.
years? She's older.
Yeah.
And there's a few other couples. I don't want to start mentioning names before next
And also
minute
'cause the
someone's
Gen
broken
Z
up.
girls
But
are- Gen Z girls are on crud. So we are.
They're on smoke.
They're on
not
smoke.
playing.
So the Gen Z
Really?
guys,
God, you need to school me because I haven't
the
really
Gen
been.
Z girls, oh,
Dev, stop. You be knowing things.
I mean,
They
I
are
don't
on
know
crowd.
They're
things,
on
guys. I
crud.
don't know things.
They're like, you better
They're
pay
gonna
me.
put you on the chart. Easy. Whereas we're
They're
doing
like,
that.
yeah.
These ones are choppy.
Really, they're
bin.
moving different.
Different,
Yeah.
savage.
But I also think there's now in this day of social media, there's so much choice.
Oh yeah.
Guys don't
Yeah.
have to work for anything. Like if you come
No.
with your whole, I need you to do this, that. They're like, no.
Yeah,
and then
bye.
there'll be someone
Someone
who's
else.
giving it just like that. So there's no effort to. I'm not saying back in the day was good because our parents sometimes didn't have a choice. They just had to take who was because they wanted a family and someone to take care of them. But now we've got our own houses, we've got our own everything. And I'm not saying if you've got a house and I can move there too, but it's a case of now we've got these things for ourselves. I hear you about them providing, but the choice of being able to go to the next person, being able to,
easy.
it's so
So
easy.
easy,
So
so
there's
accessible.
no.
We're just so
think people
overstimulated
don't-
in general. We're
Yeah.
not supposed to know this
Yeah.
amount of people, meet this amount of people. Like we're exposed to so many different people 24/7, whether we're on socials, in real life, at events. Like it goes across every single relationship, whether it's like friendships, relationships. Back in the day, was you meeting? How many friends did you really have realistically? Like,
Yeah, I
you know what I
guess
mean?
school
Like it
time.
wasn't as like. You
It's-
scroll and
it's-
you're already
yeah.
like, your
You can
brain's
meet,
already
yeah.
taking in like
But it
15
is,
new
and it's
people.
true, yeah. Even on the dating apps, you
Yeah,
can literally
dating
just
apps, everything.
one person does reply, you go into the next person. One person, there's how many dating apps? So you're jumping from one to the other. So it's like, of course, you're not settling, but you're not going to pick one. You're not going to pick someone because tomorrow there could be another person that you're
Yeah, I think
attracted
people
to.
always think
And
the
there's
grass is greener. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't like the way you laugh.
I think no, I think that's the world at the moment, and I don't think it's like necessarily. I think that's all of us, man, woman, whatever. We're all like that. Like so, everything in life. If you think about, we're told, you can upgrade. Like phones, we don't need a new phone. You're gonna upgrade. You don't need a new TV. You're gonna upgrade. You don't need a new bag, but you're gonna have thousands of bags if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always find it interesting how we then think that the brain should stop that type of thinking when it comes to humans. But we're programmed like that. Everything else in our life, apart from humans, we're told to upgrade or look for the best thing before you get it.
Yeah.
Don't like
Shop
even
around,
shop
yeah.
around. Like don't
Yeah.
this. Even when you think about just that's why they call us like the Netflix generation, because even Netflix, you'll be watching something and you get bored of it and then you decide to go into the next program and you haven't actually finished that program yet, or another ad comes up. That's literally like socials. The guy will be liking you, you're amazing, and then another bad girl comes up and he's like, oh wow, she's amazing. Okay, maybe this is better. Like that's literally our lives at the moment. So I'm not surprised that this is where we're at. And I do think that in order for like a relationship or even maybe talking stages for even to get to that point, I've heard like a lot of my male friends say they've had to come off socials because you're constantly thinking that something's better than the girl
Something
that
else
you've
is
got
gonna
now,
come,
because
yeah.
you're just fed it all the time.
Yeah.
Now, even me, I'm into girls, I'm into women, I'm into men, right? So even me as a woman that's attracted to women, when I go on this in my For You page, all I see is mad pretty girls. I've got more self-control than men because we just here we go.
do, yeah.
Like I feel like we just do.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily going to be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But I can then put myself in a man's shoes and be like, you lot are fighting for your lives because you just got constant imagery of paying girls, like, and I mean paying girls, like you're just there scrolling. I'm thinking, you lot. Why would you lot?
away, yeah.
Why would you ever settle? Like, why would you ever, or
Yeah.
how do you ever? Because you're, like you said, you're thinking, oh, she's amazing. Oh no, but look at this one. 2 days later, there's another girl. She's now like 5 of your pictures. You're like, fuck, she likes me. I like her now. Who do I like? Do I like this one? Do I like that? It's just too. There's too much going on. Even us as women, you know, like. There's probably a guy, I say this to my friend the other day, we've probably met bare Russell Wilsons, but they're not Russell Wilson. They ain't got Russell Wilson money and they ain't got Russell Wilson profile. But we've definitely come across men that will probably pour into you, make you feel lovely, beautiful. You've dated those men, but you'll go and tell your friend, oh, there's just something that's the spark's just not there.
He hasn't got that edge.
He hasn't got the edge.
Everyone loves saying that.
Like,
He got that edge.
there's just something missing.
There's no
That
spark.
edge will
There's no
push you to the
spark.
Yeah, like there's bare guys, like, do you know what I mean? There's probably guys, and sometimes I think to myself,
Yeah, I don't believe in the one. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
the
one.
one,
But it's like the one you can work with,
Work with, yeah, for sure.
with them, right?
but do you think you've come across guys that you maybe could have been with, but you was maybe looking for something else more? Like, but when you look back, you think actually he could have been all right. Like it would have been good. But I was
not
there
yet.
looking. No, you haven't.
Not yet.
I did. Have you?
Sorry.
Have you?
So moving on swiftly.
No, moving on swiftly.
You've not.
In conclusion, overconsumption, guys. That's
Basically.
what's going on. It's affecting all walks
Okay,
of
so
life.
as we're in 2025, looking at the year ahead, just really thinking about, are we just going to be a nation of single women? Like, is this our future?
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna die alone.
No, see, don't say that.
She's always like this.
Come on now.
I'm not lying.
There needs to be hope.
No,
like,
okay,
there's people that are in
Statistically,
relationships.
some people are dying alone. There's not enough people for each other. Unless we're all going to start sharing, or unless we're all going to start being with women. That's it. That's basically, but the numbers don't match.
But there's enough people in this world. Like you were saying, it's
more
about
women than men.
it's
Yeah,
about where
more
you
men,
are.
More women than
There's
men.
more women than men.
A lot of good women.
So that some of us, like, I hope it's none of my immediate people. That's what you have to pray. You have to pray it's not your immediate people.
See, I promise you, I'm coming to your wedding this year.
That's quick, you know. Jesus.
God, do you believe in God? God can do it.
Come
God
on.
can do it.
Not in a year.
Works
Would you
in
get
mysterious
married in a
ways.
year? Would you get married
Yeah,
in a year?
I would.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
I would.
In a year.
I wouldn't get married in a year. That's insane.
Why is
Maybe
that
like
insane?
4
I
weeks,
feel
you're
like
off
you
your
can
feet.
really meet. I
You
have
don't
a
know
friend
that
who can meet.
motherfucker?
You can.
Oh, God.
At this
talking
age,
about
once you know, if you met someone, you know what you like. I can meet a guy, have a conversation, and be like, yeah, it's gonna work, yes or no. Like I can feel it, right? Obviously, you don't know him, you have to get to know them, and blah blah blah. But there's certain things you've gone through. We've gone through. We've all dated. We've all gone. There's certain people that you're like, yeah, it's not gonna work. And that's what I'm saying. Some people you're like, they say the first word on the date, and you're like, no, it's a no from me. You just know. So I feel like, yeah, if I met someone, literally, I'm not saying I'm rushing it, but if it felt right, within 6 months, we could definitely be walking down the aisle.
Hey, Debs, no, that's
I've noticed someone's done it.
2025, yeah, Debs, this ring. I can't wait. Just give me the date, babe. Give me the date in the diary.
Six months.
Scared.
I feel like 6
Because
months you could do it.
I
know someone who hasn't. She's living very happy. Like,
I think it's doable. I really do.
I think it's doable.
I think for the right person, just because we haven't met that
it depends,
person.
Obviously, I'm not saying if you're like in your
hopeful.
20s. I mean, some people are getting married at 23 and they've been together in this in their 40s. And they marriages are working, right? Marriages. I'm not. We're not trying to be like
2 years.
2 years? What for?
2 years. 2 years to like, and I mean like 2 years to, okay, a year. I would say a solid year. My time frame would be like, I'd meet someone within the 3 months. I say 3 months of like talking stage. I would say
3 months talking stage.
I would like 3 months of, but in that 3 months, we kind of like locked in on each other. It doesn't mean you're
dating other people,
but we are getting to know, and that's another thing. I think because everyone's talking to so many different people at the same time, you have an argument with him, now you're going to move to him, and now you're not ever sorting that out, so you're just never like locked in on someone, and your emotions are getting spread. 3 months, I think, is a good time to figure out whether you and this person should now decide to actually work towards
commit to a relationship.
To a relationship, because I think,
and then 6 months getting married.
and then the thing, that's why I say I would like a year of like dating, talking, and then being together, and then after that we could then start thinking about marriage. And but I
think in
think
future.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I feel like you have to live with someone. You have to. I think a holiday,
100%.
living with someone. You definitely need to do those things before
100%.
you
That's what I'm saying.
understand
6
it.
months. So
Yeah, but 6 months. But in 1 month I'll be on holiday. In 2 months I'll be. Literally, one of my exes, they literally the first month we went on holiday together.
I've done
But
that.
to be fair, if you are dating a guy that has intention to marry, like that's another thing.
That's
the mindset
also
has
very
to be there.
key.
Yeah.
Because you could be dating someone
to
that's
marry.
like, I'm trying to see you, but I'm looking for something serious. Are you?
Yeah.
When you meet the intentional guy that's like, look, I'm here for this, then the conversation feels different. The talking stage feels different.
100%.
But it's about obviously finding that guy, number one, but also having the discernment to understand whether that feels authentic or not. You just never know,
That's it,
right?
because some people do love bomb. They're
This is
this
what I'm
is
saying.
it.
That's why I don't believe anything they say within the first 3 months. Anything after 3 months, then I'm a bit like, okay, novelty's kind of worn off. You're a little bit over me now. I'm not as shiny as I was 3 months ago. You know what I mean? Like, how you are now is probably what you are, if that makes sense. The first month, you're giving me all this, like, I want to see you all the time. Now, month 2 telling me, oh, yeah, babe, I'm busy. Like, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they said 2 weeks they think is not long not to see someone. And I said, 2 weeks? That's insane. Like,
not to see them,
yeah,
like not to have a
he
date.
was like, what if I'm really busy and I couldn't see you for
2
weeks?
No one's ever
I
that
said,
busy.
and we live in the
No
same...
one's ever that
never
busy.
And when I broke it down to, because he was like, 2 weeks doesn't seem that long, I said, and we live in the same city. I said, abroad
if
is
you're
different.
doing long distance, that's
same
very
city, and you only live an hour away from me, babe. I could have come over at 12 o'clock at night to see you one night, or you could have come to me at 12 o'clock at night. Doesn't mean we might not be able to do a date night in those 2 weeks because you could be really busy, but you're telling me I'm not seeing you for 2 weeks.
No.
That's insane to me. But
those are the standards now. People are like, she's too clingy. She wants to see me in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but when you first met him, he wanted to be telling you every day, come see him and meet me here.
Every day, good morning.
Right.
Queen.
Now 2 months
good morning, queen. They won.
That's what I'm saying.
Good morning.
Hey,
you
okay?
Right. And now it's like, oh, sorry, I woke up a little bit late. I had to rush to work. That's why you didn't get a text this morning.
Oh, God, not the excuses, child.
Right.
Excuses.
You got to wait a couple months for them to see their true character.
Yeah, of course. I definitely think. And the red flags will be
Yeah.
there if you're really looking, right? And if you're actually being intentional and really not
being intentional, listening to your
extent, like, because some guys are committed, so even after that 3 months, they could still be faking it
until it's too late.
Too late.
God. But you get to, I would say year to 2 years.
Oh, you guys got time. I ain't got time. So
do you want children?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. That's also a key part.
Yeah.
But that's also a thing. What about guys with kids? How do we feel about that?
I'm an advocate for guys with kids.
Yes, you did say.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that.
Tell us more.
Because I don't know if I want kids.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I want them yet. And then that way, again, going back to this time frame, because I'm 35, so, it's a little bit... I just think that if I got with a man without kids and we're in the same age group, he's gonna want kids pretty quickly. Rightly so. Like, do you know what I mean? This whole theory of like, I don't
Or
want to be
maybe
an old
not.
dad.
Some people are older than they're still
I
not
feel
there
like
yet.
a lot of men have this idea of they don't want to be an old dad. Do you know what I mean? They've got this fantasy of walking around the park or kicking the ball with their boys in the park, whatever. Like, get rid of it. So they're just like, oh yeah, I don't want to be 40, running as if 40 is old. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're crippled at 40. Like, my mum's 60, like, still doing whatever she wants to do. So I just think it'll be a rush. And then I would like to travel with my person. I'd like to spend at least 2 years without another little human because then it changes the dynamic.
It really does.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, and then that's why a lot of marriages, after the children get older and they leave the nest, it's kind of, they actually don't know each other. They don't actually understand each other because it's always just been about the children. That's always been their relationship. So I would like to just experience life with them without kids. I don't know if my age permits that, if that makes sense. Like, say I do my 2 year, I want to get married within 2 years, then I'm going to be like 37, right? Do I want to necessarily, then it might take me a couple of years to have kids, conceive. I'm now maybe having kids at 40, nothing wrong with that. But I don't know if that's what I want or even if it could be possible. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I just think to relieve that pressure off me, I'd prefer the children there. And then also I can be like a part-time mum. That's my thing. So when he has the kids, I have the kids. Yeah. And then I can still go to LA on Monday if I want. I don't need to look after. I don't have to look after, like, think about childcare. And I can go to a festival.
That's also is very real, right? In terms of like, we're saying we want partners, but the fact that I can just get up and go.
Yeah. Like,
that is very, very lit to me.
Kids that's a beautiful that for sure.
Kids and a partner, even if kids can partner. Well, yeah, exactly. To now have to check in with someone to be like, hey babe, I don't know. It's like sometimes I feel like, have I been single too long? Like, do I even know how to be?
That's a real thing though, being single for too long for sure.
No, I feel like it is because like sometimes I'm just like, get home safe, but why? Why are you messaging me? Why do you want to know?
You can be. I was out with my friend the other day. He went to open the door. No, he was walking to Selfridges, and there was 2 doors. Yeah. And there was one that was like, kind of open, and he went to open the door, and I just walked in the other door, and he looked at me. He was like, "You've been single for too long." I literally opened the door for you, and you literally walked through the other door.
But I don't think that's our fault, though. That's people do say that. Oh, you're too independent for your own good. So like my brother-in-law is like, I can change my own car tire. I've had to change my own car tire. I've had to do this. I haven't had that person, so I've had to just go into autopilot and figure out myself. Of course, if the person comes and says they want to do it, I will allow. But you have to also understand that it's going to take me a minute to be like, okay, someone's actually offering me help because no one has been there. You've had to. So I feel like we get tarnished with like, oh, you've been single for too long. Oh, you're too independent for your own good, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, hey, it hasn't happened for me. I've had to figure it out. What do you want me to do? It's just like, you're asking me to just, and I feel like that's also part of the problem. They feel like, oh, like you said, you can't provide for me. You can't, I can't do nothing for you. Oh, you're good, right? It's like, well, I've had to be good. Yeah. I've had to figure it out. I've had to. So if you're coming in to say you want to, then show me that you can. It's like, show me that you can. If I can let go of the reins, it's like, I just don't like it when they come with like, you're too this, you're too that. It's like, but then show me that you can do it. Then I'll let go.
What do you want me to do?
But they want you to let go and then wait and see. And then maybe when we fall in the ditch, then they want you to decide. No, then decide. But then they also don't want you to say, told you so. You just have to sit there and be like, are you okay, babes? Instead of like, I told you we were going to the ditch. Right. And you were telling me I'm too much. Right. And it's that I'm just like, oh, that's what I struggle with. Mm-hmm. It's very much you figured it out yourself, you're doing your life, you're living good. But it's also those ones that come, oh my God, those ones that come when they see you doing good. They like it all. And then they come and they're like, oh no. It's like, why don't you just leave me alone?
Yeah, because it's too much. Why didn't
you just leave me alone when you saw me? It's like, you like this, but this is what it takes to be me. This is what it is to be. But and it's like, oh, actually, no, I don't want it.
Because it's kind of what I say. It's too much. It's like they realize, oh, Debs is actually lit. She's actually got her stuff together. There's nothing I can do.
There is. They just need to.
They don't.
No, you just have to pick them well.
They don't.
Like, honestly.
How are we picking them well?
Well, I mean, as in like the right guy won't feel all these things that we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll be able to match my energy in terms of like what I'm doing.
I hear that, but there's also the right guys are also like what Zeze saying. They are like looking at you in a certain way. You're this shiny thing, and when they come, they're like, oh, not that you're not still shiny, but it's like actually I have to keep up. She's not gonna slow down for me. She's not gonna sit on me. She's not. She is still gonna fly. She's still gonna. I feel like it was Lisa Ray that said like, look, this is my lifestyle. I'm not trying to stress you to be like, if you come from, I'm not trying to shame you or do anything, but I've built this life for myself. So if you're coming, you need to add. If you want to come and stay stagnant, it's like they always, tarnish you. You're too ambitious. You're too much. You're too this. It's like, well, I know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The right person won't feel these things, and we're also talking about a lot of superficial things in terms of like lifestyle. The right person will understand that there's other things that you will need that is not about lifestyle. It could be emotionally, could be something that he teaches you within his own field. Like that, the right person will be able to offer those things to you, which are at value to you, right?
Absolutely. I think most of it is lifestyle, though, babes.
I don't think most of it is lifestyle. I think it's like. I think we're basing it all just on lifestyle, but you could find the guy that's emotionally what you need.
But that's not how men have been taught, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but not all men. Some men. That's what I'm saying to you.
But that's what Z's saying. We ignore those men.
We know those men, but we don't like them.
All right. Number one, I didn't say I ignored anybody. All right. I'm just trying to flip the script because we're talking about he sees me with this lifestyle. But the right guy, there is a guy out there that has been taught this way. We just haven't met them yet.
We have, but we don't like.
No,
we have.
You have, Miss Girl.
We all have, because I can guarantee you've met an emotionally intelligent guy, but we're attracted to the guy. The guys that we like have only, most men come across women like us. Majority of them don't know what to do, because in life, men have been taught from the patriarchal system, whatever they've been taught, that they are only a man if they can provide you a lifestyle or make your life better. Men are not taught to be emotional beings. That's not what they're taught. They're not told to like, you need to, that's why when you want a man to be emotional, that's why they find it hard to help you emotionally, because it's like, okay, after I can't give you that and give you money and maybe make you feel support, like you're, so what else can I do? So if you take that away from them, that's why they're like, whoa, this is too much. Yeah, there are men that are like that, but I think initially most men lead with what they can give you and what they can provide, and that's what makes them feel like that's what makes them feel like men.
Hence to the whole 50-50, right? Like when literally the whole debate about if you're dating someone, when do you go 50-50? When do you, or should they be paying for the first date? Like when you do go on a date, if a guy asks you to go halves, how do you feel about that?
On the first date?
Yeah.
Never. I'm not even pretending to reach for my bag.
So that's the whole providing. That's lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So on if you're saying that we should,
here.
I don't even.
But if you're saying it's not about lifestyle, it is, because on the
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying that there's two sides to it in terms of like, I do feel like we're making lifestyle such a thing, but in terms of like, you could just meet a guy that is emotionally there. You just never know. Maybe I'm coming. Maybe I'm coming with but maybe. Hold on, girl.
I don't know.
2025, I am attracted to him, okay? All right? I'm just trying to give a more hopeful stance to it. Like, there could be a guy there that is emotionally there, that has gone through, like, okay, maybe I'm not providing for her, like, in a monetary and a lifestyle way, but there's other ways.
And there are relationships like that, definitely.
Yeah, like, I think there
where
is,
the woman
sure.
is the provider, but the man does, he's the home carer, or he looks after the kids, and she's the...
I'm not sure I want him to be the home carer, but I know what you mean. You've made it an extreme
No, I wouldn't want that either.
Okay, but not home carer.
You know what I mean in terms of
he's
other ways.
More
as in, like, he's got his own, you have your own.
Yeah.
Maybe he can't double what you've got because you guys are...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're saying,
but then they're saying that guys don't even like that anyway.
Right?
We're now on the same level. No.
This is it. It's like I feel like, can we win? Because when you do want to be like, okay, I do understand, I'm gonna provide for it, then they start either resenting you or feeling away, or within their friendship groups, like you said, because men are not told, oh, your girl earns this and they feel away. Then even though they're happy at home, all of a sudden then they're not happy at home, because they're like, ooh, people questioning me, people are looking at me a certain way. It's ego, it's mindset, it's upbringing, it's different economic, levels. It's just
a lot of conditioning
as well. A lot of conditioning as well. It's just like, how do we navigate really being, for me anyway, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I feel like I still want to have hope. I feel like Tony's saying, that there are guys out there that are still...
I'm saying hope.
We're all crossing our fingers.
I'm the hopeful one, clearly.
We're hopeful that there are guys out there who are emotionally sad, because believe it or not, as much as people say, that people are in happily married relationship or happy relationships, people are making it work. I feel like you're saying, the younger generation, maybe they did the whole, from uni, you were with the guy, you got married, you went through your trials and tribulations, and now when you're getting to your 30s, 40s, you're now like, you found your happy peak. I just don't have that time to work 10 years to work out the kinks. For me anyway, I don't have 10 years, so it feels like maybe I'm rushing, but I don't think I am. I feel like if I meet the guy, we're good, I have a good feeling about it. Yeah, 6 months, 6 months, I could do it. But I feel like it's also a case of there's relationships where, how long have you been together? Oh my God, I've been together 15 years. Oh, when you meet in school, in this, I hear a lot of that. When I hear successful relationships where you've met in your 30s or 40s, it's very much like it was quick. We met, done. That's how I'm saying.
You're a lot more intentional.
The middle ground is
well. I heard a good analogy the other day, and it's like when you're younger, it's like two startups coming together. So it's like you're both startups, so you can build together.
Right.
But like when you get older, it's like two businesses merging, which is always a lot more harder than a startup. Like, so yeah, like imagine Apple and Samsung trying to merge. It's gonna be insane. It's a lot of compromise, a lot of you don't do that anymore.
Culture,
you don't
there's
so many things.
So
two adults,
do things different.
And I always say that. I think that also, I just think in general as well, we're not like humans. We're not giving each other enough grace, and you have to remember that you're meeting these people like in our late 30s, early 40s. So you're meeting someone that's had said character
life
or habits for the last 40 years or at least 30 years of their life or 15 years, and now you're going to come in and try and like break that habit or make it more compatible with you. You have to know that it's not going to be easy, and I think on both sides a lot of time everyone just assumes that it's easy, and the moment there's a little bit of a rocky boat, then it's like, oh well, he doesn't understand. It's like, or I really disagree with things like, well, I'm not teaching no grown man how to love me, and I so disagree with those kind of statements, because how is he supposed to know how to love you? He learned how to love Keisha. He didn't learn how to love Deb. Keisha might have liked flowers, you might not like flowers, or Keisha might not have liked flowers, you like flowers. So you're assuming that he should just come in and know everything about you, what makes you tick, what doesn't make you tick, is quite ignorant, I think. Do you know what I mean? And like mind reader stuff, I can't read your mind. So, someone said to me the other day, like, oh, what's your love language? I said, my love language is this. Then they were like, oh, what love language how do you like to love someone? And I said, well, it's not really my business how I like to love someone, because I just need to love them how they want to be loved. So if I feel like, oh, my love language is giving gifts, but my partner doesn't like gifts, why am I giving gifts?
Because then when he doesn't like it, and you're like, why didn't you like my gift?
Yeah, and it's like, that's not how they want to be loved.
I think it's about both just being really self-aware in terms of like just really being self-aware and being, you know what I mean? And like you said, it's so true. You can as a single woman, you can have all these habits and then you expect someone to accept these habits. Like, no, like you need to be really self-aware and intentional with the fact that you're both going to be like, not like clashing all the time, but it's like...
There's going to be an element
it's going to be an element of that for sure.
Of you just figuring each other out. And then, and that's why I say like the 3 months is a nice time to kind of figure someone out. And then maybe after the 3 months, you can always turn around as well and just be like, I don't think this is going to work. And I think sometimes we need to be better at realizing when stuff doesn't work and not just cling on for like dear life, if that makes sense.
Not for dear life. Not for dear life.
I'm very much good at cutting the ties.
Right? Those things.
This ain't,
or like the red flags. Sometimes you notice the red flags, like Toni was saying, early. Like first 2 weeks, he's a bit bad at communicating, like he's not. But I'm gonna give it, and then you can tell him. Like I'll say, you say, and I think you should always give people time because they might not be aware of it. And my thing is always like, you're not gonna change. I'm gonna tell you now, but you're not gonna change immediately. But as long as I can see you're making effort, like I can say to a guy, I don't like the way you like. I feel like you take a little bit long, or I don't like this. As long as I can see that
But
you've
it's also
now
how you say it, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel
100%
like
as well, yeah.
there's
There's
a
also
lot
saying
of
it as well.
there's a lot, yeah. There's
You can't
a
be
lot
going
of,
to your girls, oh, he don't do it.
and then you're not saying
Yeah,
nothing
Then
and
to
you're
him.
blah
saying
blah blah
it.
to the group chat instead of saying it to him.
Yeah,
Then you
and then
look at him
upset.
mad angry.
Right. Then
Being
you're wondering
like-
why he doesn't know.
Because you need to say it, and same way he needs to say it too. You both kind
I
of have
guess
to be on
that's the big thing, communication within
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah,
That's-
it's really
I feel like a lot of
important.
relationships kind of go down because we don't know how to communicate. Like you're saying, we're so stuck on our phones, or we're so like in the group chats, or asking everyone the opinion, the group chat, everyone's talking to everybody else but the actual relationship. And because people want to be in a relationship, they don't want to mess it up. So they're like, oh, he does this, but it's okay, I'll just figure it out. Or, oh, they'll just make excuses because everyone wants to really be in a relationship. Like,
Yeah.
people
And you
don't want
can't
to be
let
lonely.
outside
Loneliness is a real
opinions
thing.
influence your relationship as well. I think that's really important. But you have to be united front with whoever you're with, kind of thing. 'Cause you know how you was mentioning about how his boys might be like, oh, she got more money than you and stuff. Like that shouldn't even be information that they would know. And the way you treat your partner in front of their people shows.
Yeah.
Like my aunt would always say, like my aunt would be like, one of my aunts would be like, she's the smarter one. But she ain't gonna be up in the restaurant being like, you know what I mean? It's the way you treat someone, which is how you kind of pour into that person, is how they can pour back into you by that level of respect when they're with their peers, when they're with their colleagues, whatever it is, kind of thing. Like certain things they shouldn't even know, like, oh, your girl's lit like this. Okay, yeah, she looks lit. But when whoever you're with, whoever you're dating, when you're in that situation, the way you're treating that person in front of those people, that's massaging their ego. Do you know what I mean? That's how you do it intentionally as a woman.
I think, like you're saying, self-awareness, mutual respect, communication are like the big three that's kind of lacking in relationships right now, or the effort that, guys, girls, whoever, which sides are not really willing to, because there's always on to the next. One thing's done, and it's like, okay, well, I can get someone else. The grass is always greener, and it just feels like we're in this bubble of no man's land, well, so to speak, there's no man. There's no man. Or girls, in case you're into girls, but I feel like the dating scene is so chaotic. Like I feel like I'm hearing the same stories over and over, and beautiful, affluent people are just struggling with this, and I feel like maybe we need a reset button of.
The thing is, what is quite interesting though, and I find not scary, but like, it's anyone's game, is that I've got loads of friends that are not in the entertainment industry, work 9 to 5, no Instagram, 300k followers, 300 followers, not loud, not opinionated, keeps themselves to themselves. No matter what type of woman you are, everyone is struggling. Also, like, no matter where you are in the world, everyone is struggling. Like I've put a few videos up, and they've gone like done the rounds. Yeah. And it's women from America, women from this place, all saying the same thing. Yeah. So it's not like, if there was one said way to get a man, then you know what I mean? If you was that, we all knew this type of woman gets a man, then you could maybe you could then look at yourself and be like, oh, okay, now it makes sense why they. But because it's literally like a free for all, everyone is struggling. No one kind of knows,
pandemic.
like a pandemic. Like no one knows exactly what it is, what you need to do, and that's why everyone's kind of like just stabbing in the dark right now and deciding, okay, this works, okay, this doesn't work for me, or this worked for my friend, okay, let me try that, or let me, and it's just all over it's all over. There's literally no handbook. It's all over the place. But I do think it's just because, also, I just don't think men and women feel like they need each other.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
So I think that.
But
that
we do.
I think women especially low key.
I think women feel like they don't need, but there was like reasons back in the day, like a lot of our grandparents' relationship, it was not necessarily love, it was need, and like, they needed that, and it to make a household work, they needed both of those. They needed them, and all the man and the woman, they needed home right. For the kids, and there's nothing goes to work. Like, if I was a man, if I'm being honest with you, I probably wouldn't get a girlfriend, if I'm being honest. It's stress for what? When I could get a cleaner, I can get not that this is what women are for, but back in the day, the woman looked after the household. So she would look after the home. She would make it a home for you. So if I could literally get someone to cook my meals, meal prep every day, right? And I could get someone to come and do my laundry, all the things I can get. And then for the physical and intimate side, I'll just have a girls on rotation. Like, do you know what I mean? And when I get bored of that one, she's now putting pressure on me. Bye. I'm going to find another girl. And that's exactly what men are doing now. Do you know what I mean?
Said, as a man, she wants no emotion.
Like, because it's it's stress. Do you know what I mean? Relationships are work, and it's
but
it's
anything
thing.
worth having is work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's like
And women could say the same thing. Well, women could just be like, I'll just get like, I mean, I
Yeah,
provide
but
for myself already, so I don't need a man.
The roles
Yeah,
can be
but-
reversed.
So it's not just the guys that are like,
But I think we're more lonely.
yeah, for sure. We need
and
companionship.
we companionship,
I feel like,
and
for sure.
we don't necessarily like
And we're
having
nurturers
meaningless
as well,
sex
like,
as well.
But
naturally.
also, not even that. Maybe we do, but we also get tarnished more.
Well,
like
yeah,
a guy
exactly.
can have a rota and they brag about it, but if we say we've got a rota right now,
so,
hey,
whoa, hey.
it's a whole
Yeah.
Slow down,
nother
girl.
ballgame.
And then
We
they
can't be
got-
seen to be doing that.
That woman that is their situationship for that time period of like 6 months, they will make that girl feel like they're the girlfriend. So you're getting the benefit. You're getting treated like a girl. You get a holiday. You get this. You might even stay at his house all the time. You might do this, all these things together.
You might meet a friend or two.
You might meet a friend or two. Even the mum.
Even
They're
the
chucking the
mum.
mum sometimes just to add a little sprinkle. Do you know what I mean? Make you feel like it's going somewhere. And then that's it. But one thing men are really good at though is separating.
Yeah.
So a man knows, like, he can make you feel like you're his girl, but he has no intention of ever making you his girlfriend or his wife, ever.
Yeah.
But he will keep you there just to, to keep the time ticking.
Yeah.
And you'll be thinking it's great, and then he's not, and then he already knows,
on
but
to
you're
the
just
next.
there for the time. And I think it's, Tony was saying earlier, I think with men, it's time, not the person. I don't think it, I think it very, whereas we're the person.
Yeah.
So we could be like men will know they're not financially stable to be in a relationship, and they could meet the girl of their dreams, and they ain't getting with that girl.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, it is what it is. Like, sorry, I'm not there. Whereas we can know that shit is hit the pan, and we can meet the guy of our dreams. And be like, yes,
He's there.
we'll make it work. Men are like, no, this
Yeah.
don't make no sense to me. This doesn't actually make sense. But we look
then
at things differently.
What happens when they're with you or they're with someone and then all of a sudden they break up and then 6 months later they're married?
Because
Like
it was
that.
the time. That was the time. That it was the right time. I don't
And
think
also, men
it's...
place a lot of their like worth on like career, on
Exactly,
all these
yeah.
things. Like, if I'm not lit like this, I can't. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they could be dating someone that's like, oh yeah, for what I am right now, this is cute.
Yeah.
Then when I become the real OG, then I'm off.
That's why they always glow
Yeah.
up, because that woman that they came up with reminds them of the times when they were broke. They don't want that woman no more because it's too much of a reminder. Now it's lit. You've got so much access. That's why even when any of these guys in our world, when it approach me, depending on their age, I'm like, babe, go and live your best life. I ain't got time for this. You're 30 or you're 32 and you just hit your peak. You got bare gal on you. Don't bother me. Like, honestly, do not bother me, because you actually need to just go and do what you need to do and live your best life.
Yeah.
If it so happens in a couple of years' time, this happens again or we meet again, fine. But where you are right now, leave me alone. I ain't got
But
time
you
for
say
it.
that, like, people in their 40s still like
But
playing games.
that's what I mean. It's their mind. It's not age. It's where they are in life.
Yeah, it's where they are.
Where they are.
How you view yourself, how you think people view you, is gonna like influence your actions in terms of how you date. Even the friends you keep, it's gonna influence everything. You feel like you're the one right now, then yeah, everyone must know it.
Oh, ladies, I don't know how I'm feeling about this convo. Like,
I feel hopeful, babe.
I feel hopeful, but I also feel like there is a way I don't know if there's a way we need to navigate. Is there something we need to be doing
Keep going
differently?
That's it. You have to keep playing the game.
Wow.
You just have to keep
We're
playing
saying the game ain't
game.
working.
You just have to keep playing the game, because that's the only way you're gonna
Like
be
Russian
a part
roulette.
of it.
We'll just
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. I think, like you said, men do it really well. They have like 4 or 5 different.
I think
chat,
is
chat,
that I was gonna say that it's like, are we dating like the way
That's the
men
thing, I
date?
think
Do
we-
we date?
yeah.
No,
do women?
we meet a guy and then we're like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
literally.
We focus, right?
But
I feel
like,
like
babe-
we really
We
focus on
focus.
one.
I think he's the one. Like,
But I
he
think
is
it
actually.
goes back to the fact that we don't want to be seen to be like, dating all these people. That's the perception of, you literally, as soon as you tell a guy that I'm dating multiple people, all of a sudden they don't want you.
Hey, that's why you don't tell him.
But are you
No,
supposed to
obviously,
be telling them?
no, I'm not saying.
Not this disclosure thing, girl.
I'm not saying.
I'm joking.
I'm not saying you
No.
don't tell your business, but I think that there is,
Also, I don't think as women we're actually, some women are like, but I don't think a lot of us are not actually emotionally capable of dating a lot of men,
Multiple.
because
We just-
we naturally
Yeah.
we
naturally-
latch
yeah.
on
like to
Yeah.
and we
nurture
get
someone.
right.
and
So
just
the
to
moment we
be-
start liking a guy, we can't help but be like, oh my god, I like him, and we start fantasizing and preparing stuff. That's why sometimes my friends, like, I can go on a date and my friend will be like, oh, so do you think could you see yourself with him? I'm like, based on what?
Yeah.
I've been on one date with him. So what are you basing this on? That's why I tell my friends, don't like be feeding into me with these bullshit fantasies because I ain't got time for it. But do you know what I mean? Because you're enabling me now
To be
to
like,
run
maybe I
before
can
I'm
see it.
right.
And the way
like,
he told that joke was really funny.
Right. And now you set yourself up.
Yeah.
But babe,
We
you've
need to
known
date
him
more, I
for
think.
one that you've known him. You went on one date, you've spoken for the last 2 weeks, and you actually think you don't know nothing about this guy.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's like when he's angry. You don't know what he's like when he's down. You don't know what he's like.
That's
you don't
very
know
true.
any of these things, but you've now decided that this guy, after 2 dates, is the guy that you can marry. It's weird.
But I've heard stories. I mean, maybe social media is spoiling us, but I've heard stories of people like literally
Freak
going
stories.
on one day, and it's like they knew they spend the
Yeah,
whole
they
day.
just met
They
that
went for
person,
one.
innit?
They
That
went
happen-
for
it
one
can
day,
happen.
then it turned into an afternoon, then it turned into dinner, then it turned next minute they're married for 10 years.
How often do you hear those stories?
She once every 3 scrolls, girl.
I'm hopeful,
She
girl.
got the
I'm
reels like,
hopeful.
oh my God.
Like they are true. It's like it's kind of like, you know, like when we work in the entertainment industry, when you hear those like freak stories of someone that went to LA and they bumped into, I was gonna say 2 people's names, but you can't even say their names because it's fucking cancelled now. But you like, oh my God, I bumped into a big director. Do you know what I mean? And then we had lunch, and then the next thing I knew, I was in the film. And then that's how why people go to LA, because they hear those freak stories.
one-off chance,
That
that-
one-off chance where something happened and you blew up. And that's why LA is LA, and LA is like that. Just dream chasers there, because you hear that one story. That's the same with dating. It's like, yeah, okay, you're the 2 girls that told you, I met my boyfriend, and then, but think about all your other friends. Those stories,
Other
Deb.
friends.
Of when they've gone on dates and the guy
Horror
ghosted you
stories.
2 days. Think about those stories more
worry,
than
I've
that
got a
one
story that's
right.
like,
No,
Think
we're
about
gonna be
those.
hopeful, girls. We're gonna be
I'm
hopeful.
realistic hopeful. As in, if it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't,
I think
That's
we're all a bit
also another
realistic
thing.
hopeful, I think.
Can we really be honest with ourselves to be like,
I'm pessimistic hopeful. Then you're maybe like optimistic hopeful. I'm
maybe we
pessimistic
might be
hopeful.
living single. We might be, like Zeze said, just be single. Like, because it's, for me anyway, speaking just personally, I've dated. I'm of that age, getting to my 40s now. I've dated. It's not like I'm sitting at home I've dated, right? And it's like, there must have been one guy that it could have worked with. So it's like, if it's not working, maybe I might just like, okay, maybe this is it. I've got a good life, I've got a career, and then I'm just,
Or
gonna
maybe
be
as
living
well,
single.
we're looked at love differently. Maybe also, actually, I think that I think everyone will experience being in love at one point in their life, but whether or not that lasts forever is another thing.
Right.
So I had said the other day, maybe my time of experiencing love was my first love, and maybe I won't ever get it again. But what I might get is like little snippets of love.
Yeah.
So I could be in a relationship for like 3 years. It might not work, but then I get another relationship for another. So maybe, I know we've been sold this idea of like there's one person that you're going to be with the rest of your life, or your one love, or that will continue. But maybe you might have loads of little mini love stories, you know, where you was with a guy for like, I don't know, a year. And I try to kind of take away like good from it. So I'll be like, do you know what? I now know what I want or I know what I like. I like how he made me feel. So my next partner, I have to make sure they make me feel like this. But I didn't like this, so I probably wouldn't do that again. So I just think sometimes, you know, also like whatever makes you happy, like whatever is gonna make you happy. So I might, you know, just decide to just move in with like my girlfriend and my boyfriend. Just because it makes me happy.
But, I mean, I'm laughing, but I feel like I hear you in terms of like, maybe, like I said, there's not that one. Maybe you do take whatever relationship, you take it for what it is at that time.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes it's just
And
character
it's not-
development. I swear, sometimes relationships are just
The
a character
plot twist.
It is.
It's true though, and I do
The
think
plot twist we needed.
and also I think remember like we're growing up on like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
What is
that
it?
shit,
Cinderella.
yeah.
We're growing
That
up on
really
like these
warped our
like
minds.
Yeah.
oh my god, in love, and then my
Yeah.
prince. It's different now, and I do think you could have
Yeah.
someone for a season, and it was an amazing season. It could
Yeah.
even be 10, like you said, it could
Yeah.
be 2, 10, 15 years. And that's what it was. And it was like, you're not the same person in 10 years'
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe that's why it could have fell through or whatever. But doesn't mean that's like a negative thing. I do think you just have to.
So we shouldn't be so focused on like finding that one person we're gonna do.
Yeah, I think
But you never know. You could just find that one. Everyone's path is so different. So I think it's just about being really, like you said, like do what makes you happy and what feels
because
good
sometimes
to you.
I'm like, God, people have like 2-3 husbands. I'm like, I'm just looking for one.
I know.
But
I'm just looking for
that's what I'm
one.
saying. There's people be marrying 2, 3, 4
I know.
times.
But that means
also
but it's what Zeze is saying. They found
those
love how
moments
many
in the
times?
people.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
but I'm looking for one. So it's like, how are they
And I
finding
think we're
3?
conditioned on like society's like definitions of love and what a relationship should be and like what marriage should look like for us. So it's also about making sure that you're not letting society involve those. Influence your decisions on that. Or else you're going to be keeping up with the Joneses all the time.
But I think like social is spoiling us because you go to those pages where Valentine's is coming up. You see people with the flat in the whole. They've done the whole, or someone's proposing and they've done this whole elaborate thing. It's you see that, and obviously it's like, oh, those things are. I want that someday. Oh, that's really nice. So it's like it's not a case of obviously people are getting that. I mean, I'm not saying it's all real because you just never know what's behind closed doors or if that was just made up and then they're arguing on the side. But at the same time, those things are perpetrated and put in the atmosphere, so therefore you're gonna want them. You're
100%.
Yeah, you definitely are. But then I do think we just have to always remember that social media is so performative. Like everyone wants to go viral at this point. So you just see random stuff. So I'm just like, babe. People out here setting up the whole thing just so they can get the clicks.
I know.
I think it's about having like the same way we have like a tunnel vision with our careers. We kind of have to have a tunnel vision with like our relationships, and just really be like, what is for me. Like when we talk about writing things down, like who your ideal partner would be. Like it is about trying to set those intentions and being quite. Obviously, you still probably want the petals. Of course, you're going to see it. As you're going to consume media and be like, oh, I want this, but it's also remembering that.
No, when I get married, you're just gonna see me on my honeymoon. You're not even gonna see the guy. You're just gonna see the brand and just be like,
I want to do Rihanna. I want to do, you know how she's like, Rocky was in the back for a couple of years, you know what I mean? Then boom, bush,
she had,
35,
that's what I mean.
2
she
kids done, finished.
She had fun.
She said,
Rihanna had fun and she dated.
She had fun and
she was with different types of guys and whatever.
Right.
That's why I do like Rihanna's love story is like your everyday love story, obviously without being a billionaire, if that makes sense. Because her love story is very relatable to your everyday woman. Like there's guys, that Chris Brown was her first love and that didn't go, and she probably thought that was the love of her life. Do you know what I mean? Hence why she went back again and whatever. And then she tried this guy, that didn't work. This guy, that didn't work. Do you know what I mean? She had fun and like it's a realistic love story because that is most of our dating experiences where we thought this and it doesn't work. But also just enjoy it. I think sometimes also men
enjoy it like how Lori Harvey's been enjoying it. She just moves from.
Well, she's having fun. She's
having a great time.
Lori Harvey is dating. That's what she's doing. Lori Harvey's actually
dating for
she's
sure.
dating because it's only because she's famous they then attack. But really, we never know if like her and Damson were official. If that makes sense, or like if her and Michael like they were. But do you know what I mean? It just so happens that the people that she's dating, it becomes a good thing. Like if I every time I was dating someone new, people are, they're together. And it's like, no, we're not together. We're just, it's that 3-month mark where we're figuring it out kind of thing. But I'm a public person. He's a public person. Would you want us to hide all the time? Like we can't, if that makes sense. But I feel like we should have fun because I do think sometimes as women, we can go into situations and it can feel tense from the beginning. You know, like you're dating guys and they can feel it. And they're like, whoa, chill out. You know, you going, okay, so what is this? Where's this going? And I've got 2 weeks for this to be something and I'm not going to. It's like, whoa.
That's a lot of pressure.
Like no one wants that pressure. Like, can we all chill out?
Yeah, that's too much. So even for me, sometimes when a guy's like, I'm like, dude, I'm about to jump on the flight, so please just
you got to put invisible like time clocks. Like sometimes I'll do invisible markers in my head. Yeah. Like, so I won't say it to them, but I say, okay, by July, I need to have an idea of what's going on here. Because as well, you have to protect your feelings as well as women. Protect yourself. Like if someone said to me the other day, oh, you feel like you're holding back. I was like, babe, yeah, because there has to be an element of me. Like I said, I think sometimes as women, like I said, we can run away with familiar. So if you're talking to someone every day, you start talking to someone every day, that person becomes familiar. Now you're thinking that person's a part of your life, and now you're your emotions are invested. You don't hear from them one day. You're fucking
Yeah.
panicking. You're like, why hasn't he called me today?
Yeah, text was
right?
like-
Yeah. And but babe,
Like,
you
is
only
he
know
dead?
me. Right.
Was
It's
he
been 2
kidnapped?
weeks.
But
Like,
I also want to touch on that because I feel like we're so emotionally strong and independent, and then when we do attach ourselves to a guy, we
oh my
turn.
God,
I
I
know.
hate
We just
the
we turn
feeling.
into like fumbling.
What is that?
Like,
We turn into
I
these women
hate
that are
it.
just,
you know, when you can feel
literally-
yourself going as well. You're
Yeah.
like, reel it in, babe, reel it
Yeah.
in. But you
about to have a
actually
crash out.
also, as single women, I think we've concentrated on this conversation a lot about men, obviously, and relationship.
Yeah.
But I feel like as single women, who told us that? Okay, I've said to my cousin, like, if we get to the age of like 40 and we're not together, we are going to live together. Why am I, as a single woman, when I've got my other single friends, like Tony was saying, a lot of society, oh, when you get to a certain age, you live on your own. That's adulthood. That's what it is. You have to. Why would I not move in with my other single friends and like not be lonely?
Yeah.
I'm in my house
Yeah.
being lonely because
Yeah.
society told me
Yeah,
I'm a
for
grown.
sure.
I need to be a grown woman in my house. Okay, we're at home. You're at home. I'm at home. We're both
Let's do
crying. We're
life,
both
yeah.
sad. Do life
Have that
together,
kind of
like, you know what I mean?
companionship, yeah.
Companionship, all like live in a big old
Yeah.
house together and have
Yeah.
fun. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are we lonely?
Yeah, while we're all in our silos,
Yeah,
just being
like, I
like,
always
"Oh,
think
we're
that,
independent and
yeah,
strong,
but
I've
it's
got my
like-
thing.
But it's a reflection of society. Like, we're
Yeah.
a lonely society in general.
Yeah, we are.
Like,
That's
we
very
barely
true.
reach out to people sometimes. We barely check in
That's
with people.
very, very true.
You know what I mean? So, like, I
I'm
think
guilty
like
of
what you're
that.
saying is so true. Like, you could just go and live with your friends if you like in your
You
40s.
could,
Why
like,
not?
it is. And then I said to my cousin,
Or
we'll just
whenever
adopt their
age.
kids. You adopt your child, I adopt my child, right? We raise our children together, is what it is. And that's like a new normal, because it's true. Like, why are we going to end up alone? There's some people that like to be alone, but I know I don't want to live in a house when I'm 60 all on my own.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
know what I
nor do
mean?
I.
I don't even like living on my own now.
Yeah,
I fucking
same.
hate it. I've been living on my own for 6 years on my own. People are on my Instagram, oh, you got to learn to live on your own. You. I've been living on my own all my life for the last 6 months. I know how to live. No, like, you need to learn to be babe. I told
I
you.
learned.
I know.
I know it.
Also,
I
I
know
feel
like the
some
back of
people
my
like,
hand.
oh,
Right,
like,
it's
you need to have,
quiet.
like, I feel like people always do this thing where they're also like, you need to love yourself. That I actually do.
I
like
do love myself.
I can't
Like,
love myself
this
anymore.
is not
It's
about
too
me
much.
not loving myself. It's about, like,
Exactly.
as humans, we naturally
We
want
want
companionship.
companionship.
Right.
Why does everyone act like we don't need it? Like, it's like, babe,
But it's
we
true,
do.
it's like we
need,
get
like,
penalized
friendship.
for the
We-
fact that you
Feminism,
want.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think you said it
Feminism
before. It's
did it
like
to us.
the fact that
Sorry.
you want love. People are like, oh, you gotta love. You gotta
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fine
for
by
sure.
yourself. You gotta know yourself. It's like, I know that. I still want to hug.
Yeah.
and I still want to hug from someone, not just my family or
Or
my
it's like,
friends.
oh, you need to,
I
like, pour
want.
into yourself
There
more.
is.
I
I want
There
to hug
is
from
definitely.
a big ass. I want a big dog.
But
Big arms around me. Come here, baby.
I do love a bear hug.
Yeah,
I'm a
I mean,
hug
I'm
is
not
just
height
like-
discriminating anymore, actually, as well. I don't height
God.
discriminate. I could go for
I
like,
have to.
I could
Really?
do a 5'9".
I'm okay now, even though I'm a tall
Really?
girl.
I could do like
Yeah,
a
because what if
5'9".
he's like really
I've
sweet
tried,
and I'm just, oh no,
I've
he just could. Okay, maybe we.
I don't
On the
know.
path-
I've dated. I've tried, but then the third date, it's like, babes, do you have to wear those heels? And I'm like,
Oh
yeah.
no!
Oh, okay, they've got issue with it.
No, you need to be with a guy that's
But
like,
then
oh, I
they
love
say
how
they
you so
don't.
tall, mama. You just so tall like a model.
They say
You
they
need
don't,
that.
and then there's issues.
No,
so.
I
No,
could
no,
do-
there are some that would just they love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could do like a 5. I'm 5'5".
You're
Actually,
kinda
the
small.
doctor
Babes,
said I'm
you're-
5'6". Actually, just want to let everyone know that.
Sure.
They said I was 5'6".
And I
No,
Give that
actually,
extra inch.
He actually did say that. He said I'm closer to 5'6" than I'm 5'5". So I'm just putting it
Okay,
out there.
okay, we'll give
so
it to
I
you.
could do like a 5'10" easily. Like
Okay.
I think the last
What am
guy I
I?
was
Am
seeing
I
was like
5'9"? What can
5'9".
I do?
You could do like a 5. I mean, ideally, you probably 6. See, this is the thing. You're not being greedy by saying you want 6 foot. It's
Yeah,
us-
when
I
it's
wear
us
heels, I'm
Because
Because
we're
we're
heels,
like-
and exactly, we need
Right.
to be.
When
it's-
I'm in
I
the
feel
full
like
You're not that much taller than me, Debs. What are we saying?
Huh?
Shit.
Delusion.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", babes.
Oh,
Me
are
and Debs
you?
are closer in height than
Oh
you two.
wow, I'm really small. I'm
Maybe
really
you
small.
round it.
I don't know where you're going.
Oh, I thought we was like.
No, babe.
I just
I
was
love you
because
to
you got
bits, but
heels on. Oh my god, shame on me.
It's
I was just
not.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Tony are your tall friends.
I
Yeah,
literally-
we are your tall friends for sure.
and so I could, yeah. So
Yeah.
no, I do. So you guys, ideally,
Literally.
you want 6 foot because
But
that is
it's,
that
it's,
is
it's,
that
it's,
is
easily,
fine.
it's,
easily.
mostly the short ladies are going for the
We're
6
taking-
foot.
it's
they're
true.
catching
Taking
them,
them.
they're jumping up and
You see that
Literally.
pop the balloon one when the girl, she's like 5'3". She's like, this guy's like
I love that
5'10"
show.
or something.
And
yeah.
she's too
She's
short.
like, obviously you are taller than me, but I just think you're a little bit short. And
And everyone's looking at her like, are you
babe,
okay?
even with 6
I love that
inch
show.
heels, he's still taller than you.
That's also the thing. There's so much choice. Right?
Oh,
There's so much
so
choice.
Also,
much
it's good. I think
choice.
also is a reflection of like you shouldn't let certain characteristics like affect how much you like someone.
100%,
The person could be
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Because even like pop balloon, I didn't like his pink suit. I'm
Yeah,
like, babe,
that-
change
you
the
can
suit next
change
week.
that's
so
so
I think they do
ridiculous.
it for like maybe the
Seriously,
brown
yeah.
moments or something.
Because
But
that
there are
half the things to say, I don't understand.
No, but
It's
I-
just
his
very
shoes
I
or-
think that's
I
the,
didn't like-
the state of society. That
No, I think so
people-
too.
yeah, I
but they're not thinking
people-
ahead in terms
No
of like
way
you
they're
can
not.
nurture and you can actually mold this person, not in terms of molding
not-
behaviors.
You
Yeah.
can mold,
But like in terms of
appearance.
appearance
Yeah.
is not that
You
deep.
can't change someone's
Obviously,
character.
Yeah,
You
if
can
he's a
change the way
dog,
they
he's
look.
a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I
But-
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, honey, baby, you can't listen. You can't teach them new tricks, babes.
You can't.
I mean, but there's guys that have changed their ways and
I'm
have
good.
because
really-
they wanted to. Again,
Yeah,
they
you
tried
have to
to
want
trick.
to-
They tried to trick you and be like, "No, the right woman will." No,
No,
it's because
want
they
to.
wanted to
They're
change.
Tired.
They
And
were
they're like, you know what? Maybe it's time to hang in the towel.
They start twanging. That's how they get us to stay there longer. Or that's how
very
those
true.
dog men keep getting more. And also, as women, we've got this weird thing, if we're being honest with ourselves, as being that one that made that guy be changed.
we're
It's
so-
like
yeah,
a badge
we're-
of honor. Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
he was a
yeah,
dog
yeah.
to you, but not me.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't really believe, when you actually think of it, this whole idea of like womanhood is
Yeah.
load of bullshit. Because if you actually, no, it is. Because if we literally looked at men that had like people like, okay, Summer Walker, there's no reason why he should have got with London on the track. He had so many proof of cases that he's not a good father or necessarily a great man in a relationship, but you still chose to be with that man. Because why do you think? Because what that's telling me is you actually think you're better than all of those women. And that's why when women get with these men that have got 6 baby mums, why did you get with him? You thought you were better than sis. You think you've got something better that's going to make him change, when no, like, he's a dog.
But
That's
on the flip
it.
side, though, when you think about the Cardi situation, he got with her as in like, you know, when all those tweets came out in terms of like, it was kind of like what you're saying, but not reverse of it. Because it was like, oh, Cardi B, my baby mom. You know what I mean? It's the same sort of energy of
Yeah,
like,
because
men
he kno-
also do that to women in terms of like, oh, I want to catch this one up. You know what I mean? It's the same.
Yeah, because
we
and
all do
also-
it to each
yeah.
other.
But he's still, that's what I mean. It's like, he knows, but the reason why he's saying that is because he knows no man is really gonna, no, he won't, but it's gonna be hard. She's Cardi B, so it's a little bit different. But your regular woman, men know
Yeah.
that. That's why they, like Tony's saying, they like to trap you, because they know it's gonna be difficult for you now to be with, find someone else. It's all because they're just, but that's what they've done to all the rest of their other previous mothers of their children. Do you know what I mean? And now the next mother, but you thought you were going to be different. Same with the man that cheats. You thought you were going to be different. You're not going to be different. And that's why sometimes I said to single women, sometimes you have to remember, you're not that special. That sounds bad, but you're not special enough to change that man. He is like that. All the women before you, essentially you're saying all those women before you were shit. And you're the best thing he's ever come across. You're so good. You're going to be the one. No, you're not going to be the one, because that is him. So you just have
He
to
has to
look.
want to change.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one thing
Like
I will
anything.
say.
Oh,
Look at dating, look at the track record and know, like,
Yeah.
he ain't,
I feel like with the state of dating right now, we all just need therapy. Everyone is all
100%.
needs to go to therapy. I'm
Therapy
just saying
and
it.
talk.
It's so
Everyone
important.
needs therapy. Like, seriously, I feel like that's the reset button that we all need. Like, I feel like people need to deal with
or
their
just
emotions.
arranged marriages.
I'm kind of down for that.
I would do that.
too.
I'm ready. I'm ready for someone to do
I would
intro
do
and
that.
just be.
My
I don't know,
grandma
I
tried
feel
to
like
do it to
that's
me
the-
6 months ago.
I feel
And
like
what, it
that's the
didn't
new
work?
dating hack.
No, she just showed me the picture, but it wasn't.
He wasn't giving.
It wasn't given.
Maybe
I'm
just go
sorry.
on a
Let's
date.
go
Is
see.
he
That's
here?
what we just
No,
said.
he's not. Where is he? I
We
think he's in
just
Houston.
said, girl.
Go
Babe,
on a
we
little
just
date.
said.
You playing, girl.
Ciao.
Girl,
All
we
right, guys.
just
See you later.
said-
She's off to Houston.
You just said about your environment. You just said about
But
he
try
could
something
be
different.
He
No,
could
but
be.
that-
Good looking.
He could
Did you
be-
find him attractive?
No.
Okay, that's
No.
the problem.
That's the problem.
But that's the
But
thing,
I'm not
I
against it in
want
terms
to
of like, I don't
find-
mind being arranged at all.
No,
Yeah.
neither
I
do
feel like
I.
we need to bring that back, you know,
Bring
in
it
terms of
back.
people introducing. I feel like a lot of friendship groups, they're like,
Yeah.
so
guy, especially
true.
my guy friends, like, can you introduce me? Oh, you don't want none of my guys. It's like,
That's
but
why.
then
know,
why?
it's like-
No, shall I tell you why? Because they actually know their friends are dogs.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the truth. They know. I've got male friends, and sometimes I look at them and I think, you lot are a nasty piece of work. Like, you're nasty pieces of work. Like, no. And that's why anytime my friends might date any of my male friends, like, oh, he seems like such a nice person. I've got one ex, it's so funny. Like, I've got one ex, he lives in Bali now, and my cousin lives in Bali, as you know. And I literally put them in contact with each other. And my
Right.
cousin, they become like, they're really cool now. And
Yeah.
they're good. He looks like, make sure she's fine
Yeah.
and whatever. And my cousin's always like, can't you like just get
Get
back with him?
back.
He's so lovely. And I'm always like, he is an amazing friend.
Right.
But beyond that, no, he doesn't work for
Yeah.
me. And that's what I always say to my friends, like, when they're like, oh, your friend, he's so nice. I said, look, I can't tell you what he's like dating, because how men treat their friends and how
Yeah,
they
it's
treat
very, very
the
different.
women that they're dating are two. I said, as a friend, he's amazing.
Very,
but
very
I can't
different.
tell you what he's like when you now open your legs to him and now he's, I can't tell you.
Different ball game, babe.
Different
But I think
ball
that's
game.
why people shy away from introducing people as
100%.
but I feel like we need more of that.
We
We're
do
all
need more of
adults
that, for
now. Like
sure.
if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I feel like there needs to be more interaction because it cuts out the whole. So what's your favorite colors? Like you can tell me from jump.
yeah.
Hey, he's this. Like you just said, he's a good friend. He's this, but these are I don't know this. And then it's for me to decide. Hey, do I want that? Then I can't come back to you and be like,
it's true,
hey,
it's
you
true.
said it.
Yeah,
Because you said it. You said,
Oh, you
from
said it,
jumps,
you gave
and
the disclaimer,
You gave the
cool,
disclaimer.
I mean,
but I feel like
yeah.
we need more introductions. There's so many people that know there's different pockets of friendships. It's like someone could be good for you, but we're all like, oh, I'm not sure. Just do the intro.
Just do it, yeah.
Just do the intro and just see.
Everybody intro your friends.
I think that's the new dating now.
Everyone
The dating
intro.
hack is introductions. On
That's
that
it. We got there in
note,
the end.
I just want to say thank you, ladies.
Thank
I
you
just
for
wanted
having
to ask one more question about, I think as society, we're not good at having uncomfortable conversations. What is an uncomfortable conversation you've had with yourself or a partner or an ex or a friend about relationships and about being single? For me, it's that loneliness piece of like, damn, this might be it.
Yeah.
And that's been an uncomfortable conversation to have. And sometimes I'm just like, ooh, is this it? What about you?
I think probably the same, like having that lonely conversation. But I think I'm quite vulnerable, but it still is awkward because being vulnerable is uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So especially when on socials, it looks like you're always having a good time and you're always out and people think you're just, you know, having
Everything's
so
great.
much fun and stuff like that. But literally the other day, my friend called me and I literally just started crying on the phone because I was so sad because I was just like, I'm so lonely.
This
like
life,
like I come home, I've got no one really to like share my day with or, you know, do things with like on a day-to-day basis or whatever. Or just like do life with, travel or stuff like
Literally.
that. So yeah, I think that's probably the same.
Partnership is key. People make it sound like it's, oh, you know, wanting someone is a bad thing, but partnership
no.
is such
Yeah,
a powerful
yeah,
thing.
of course.
I know people that have gone in relationships and like life is time 10x for them because
Right.
it's like you're
10x.
literally
It does.
literally
It's
doing
true.
things.
But you can
it's
see
cutting
that.
things.
Like you can see when a woman's been like really loved. You can she's like glowing and shining. I always find it interesting.
and also for the guy as well. It's not just the
Yeah.
girls. Like I think
Definitely.
on both sides, like you really feel that partnership.
I
But
don't
anyway.
understand how people always know how like people understand how negative relationships can impact you, but they don't ever talk about the
positive.
positive. Like the constant conversation. If you choose the wrong partner, but also and he can bring you or they can bring you down and they can make you. But also, if you choose the right partner, you can thrive. Like you said, you feel like you'll be in love. When I've been in like situations and the guy, like everyone always used to say to me back in the day, like, I can't wait for you to get a boyfriend because you're gonna shut your mouth. That's what they used to say, yeah, because they always used to associate me talking with not having good sex. And I used to be like, listen, when I get a boyfriend, you lot are gonna be in for the kill. Because my man is gonna be in the corner like, go babe, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, like you can't tell me nothing. If anything, I hold back more now, not so much because I don't care anymore. Well, I'm just not talk as much as I did. But when I was when I did used to tweet all the time, I would even hold back a little bit because I was single and I'd be like, I don't want to put too much out there. I don't want to deter. I'm already deterring already. Like, let me not deter too much. I was thinking, when I get my man and he's like, that's my babe, you are going to be, you've got to be running for cover. You can't tell me nothing. As long as my man's cool with it, everyone tweeting. Not like he's going to control me.
No, but then again, the communication and
I'm
partnership,
going for
right?
game. I'm going for the juggler, mate. Can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
So
What about
yeah.
you two? Uncomfortable conversation.
I think loneliness, but also do think that maybe the commitment I've shown towards solving the singleness probably is a difficult one. Because I think when I look back at how much I pour into my career, I'm like, maybe I didn't pour that much into the search or being intentional. I think that's definitely like a difficult conversation I've had in that way, because I'm just like, okay, maybe I have to hold my hand up and be like, I do have a part to play. Maybe I could have been a bit more. Or like my friends will be like, oh, look at you flirting. I'm like, oh, I don't know when I'm flirting. I'm like, no, baby.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Everyone says this about me. They're like,
I literally just
look
told
at
you, right?
I'm talking to you.
That
I'm like,
guy was
which
just
guy?
trying to collect you, and you were
And
just
I'm
like,
like, who? So maybe I'm like, maybe I'm a bit too.
Maybe you need to shine your eyes a bit more. Maybe you need to go to Houston, babes.
Right.
I know. Go to Houston.
With the flag.
Bring
So yeah, maybe that's what it
Bring
is.
us back some.
No, seriously,
I'll
bring
collect for the
us
girls.
back some.
For the honeys.
My ladies.
Would you move across the world for someone?
Yeah. If it's maybe it's not in Timbuktu, you know, in a place that I can actually also thrive. Because that one thing I say yes, but the caveat is I also want to have my life.
100%. Yeah.
I want to be able to thrive there as well. I
mean, if
wouldn't
you want to
move
move
just
to the Maldives and honey and pay, I'll be like, girl, I'll try.
I
try to keep my career.
I'll start a cocktail bar. So
right.
I'll change. If I could do something, it might not have to be in entertainment,
right?
but I can start a cocktail. Then I
My
can do for myself that I'm not sitting at home waiting for the guy to come
100%.
home.
Yeah.
I
agree with
would
that,
get, and he's set up and it makes sense. Like it's not like you're just moving just because you're the one who's got a house, you're the one who's got it, but you're moving and selling up and going renting. Not saying renting is bad, but like going to you have to weigh out the odds, right? But I would move for the guy if all the things are aligned and it makes sense, and I can make a life for myself and make it make sense for myself. Because like you said, things don't last forever. What if it goes? Like I want to have some sort of a cushion to, you know, I'm not trying to preempt it, that's not going to work, but at the same time we have to be realistic. Like how many relationships have failed, how many divorces are there, as well as there's thriving marriages, things go left. So as long as I can have some sort of cushion for myself or have some sort of life for myself and curate something for myself, absolutely. I'm packing my bags.
Right.
I'm gone.
So luggage tag on.
Bye.
See you later.
Oh, girls, on that note, thank you.
Thank you
This
for
has been
having
a
us.
beautiful conversation. Thank you for coming to my casa and having my lovely cocktails.
It was gorgeous. Look, I finished mine.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope some gents took something out of this. Approach ladies more. Approach. Anyway, you've been listening to
Promise we won't
Cocktails.
put you on a thread.
Well, disclaimer, she said it now. You've been listening to Cocktails and Conversations. If you like this episode, please subscribe to hear more. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Cocktails and Conversations. I hope you enjoyed the chat and found some inspiration to carry with you. If you like this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps us reach more amazing listeners just like you. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes moments, and a community that's all about personal growth and good vibes. Cheers!